before we go to Jedi Survivor and wrap this up, we could just really quickly talk about Star Wars Outlaws, the which is the Ubisoft game made by the team that worked on the Division. Um, it's different than what I thought because I remember when me and you talked about it, we were like, okay, if Ubisoft is making a game, I've talked about how I'm not the biggest fan of the most recent Assassin's Creed games. You are, especially I think you say you really like Valhalla, right? Um,
Yes, but I'm never going to beat Valhalla because the main
it's a lot,
story is like 60
yeah.
hours. And
Um,
then they released like four expansions that are all almost the same length as the actual game. And I'm like, I'm never,
yeah, it's a lot.
there's no point.
That's why they're not for me because they're just too much and it's a bit overwhelming. And also the gameplay style changed a little bit too significantly for me. It's too much of an RPG. Uh, with that said, I've always said that if you take literally everything about that game and you make it Star Wars, like literally it plays the same, you just change the world and the story. I would play all of it. I would put like 1,000 hours into it. um, and we were thinking that might be what Ubisoft Star Wars game would be like, but this is different. It looks very different. Have you saw the? I assume you've seen the gameplay showcase.
Unfortunately,
Yeah. What do you think? You say unfortunately.
it does not look. I feel okay. So I feel like, and I talked about this because I have a Star Wars group chat with some of my online friends, and we did discuss this a little bit. I feel like I would be able to have a better opinion if the UI wasn't so obstructive because
Hold on, I don't remember what the UI looks like. Actually, in my mind, in my memory, I actually really like the UI, but maybe I'm tripping.
yeah. So I mentioned this in my group chat with some of my online Star Wars friends. We talked about this where essentially the UI is so obstructive that I really don't feel like I have the ability to give a good opinion because I can't see a lot of what's going on because it's so much UI to an uncomfortable degree.
Yeah,
And it's obstructive UI to an uncomfortable degree.
yeah. I
I'm
remember.
not able to really get a feel for the game and like what I do and don't like about it. I don't like what I see that much. Some of it has me interested, like the part where she's like running and and I haven't seen this since the gameplay trailer first came, or since the gameplay first came out, where she's running and like it shows that she's wanted and like the screen like lights up and stuff like that. That was a lot. That was really interesting. I thought that was cool. Um, I'm interested to see what the kind of heat system looks like when you are committing crimes because you're obviously an outlaw.
Yeah, what I
And I
remember.
like the companion.
Yeah, what I remember thinking when I saw it was like it's kind of like Star Wars GTA. Cause
It
I
feels like Star Wars GTA a little bit in the concept, but Star Wars GTA is so much more unique and interesting than this game looks.
This is true. Um, at GTA 6, but anyway, that's besides the point. Um, yeah. I don't know. I was kind of the same. I was very conflicted when I first saw it because it wasn't what I was expecting. Um, and I don't know. It kind of looks. It nothing about it looks particularly like interesting to me. Like I have to see more because right now, what it's just a. I think it's supposed to be open world, like third person shooter, and I'm like, okay,
From everything I hear, it's open world, but like it looks like a cover shooter. It looks like a generic cover
yeah,
shooter.
like a like an Uncharted or a Gears of War. Yeah, it's just like you said, generic third person shooter, which is like that kind of Now I think about it, something I talked about back when I talked about it with my current co-host Zaire was it it does have elements of that canceled what was it like that what was it called, like 1313 or something like that, Star Wars game that was made by Amy Henwig, the Uncharted 1-2 director. It does have elements of that, which I think that works better for a single player experience, that type of game, more so than an open world game. And I feel like that's why this looks kind of boring to me because it's like if you're gonna do this very cover shooter type gameplay, have it be a very focused single player linear story. Maybe a little bit
Yeah,
like open zone, similar to like Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Part 2, where there are areas in that game where it's more open and a little bit, it gives you a little bit of freedom to do things a little bit differently, but at the same time, it's still very much those games are aggressively linear. If this game was like that with the type of gameplay that it has, I'd like it. I'd probably have a good time. But making it open world with this type of gameplay, and like you said, it not being nearly as in depth or interesting as GTA or like Red Dead Redemption, it really kind of makes it look boring.
Yeah, it's definitely not my thing.
Yeah,
I can
maybe they'll show us something that makes it look cooler, but I don't know. I don't think they will.
they're
Especially
gonna have to show a lot more to have me be excited
because I
about
feel
that.
like as the thing is, this I don't know. Despite being tired of their format, if they just took their usual format and made it Star Wars, I truly think it would be an
This
amazing
doesn't look
game.
like their usual format.
I know. That's what I'm saying. This isn't their usual
Actually, you know
format,
what?
but I'm saying that
This
if they,
is made by the team that made the
yeah,
Division,
it is.
which may be part of it. I never played the Division, but from what gameplay I've seen, this
They're third
does
person
look like,
shooters.
yeah, this does look like the Division,
They are cover based third
which
person
may be
shooters.
part of the issue.
So you know what? That is true. I forget about that because I'm kind of just clumping all of Ubisoft together. But there are different teams, and the division is primarily like a cover based shooter, third person shooter. So yeah, it makes sense that that team made this. But that was ultimately kind of I was always disappointed when I heard there was the division team making the game. If I'm being honest,
Yeah, I was too. I feel like it should have been the Assassin's Creed
it should
team.
have been either Assassin's Creed or the Far Cry team.
Oh, or Far. I forgot Far Cry existed.
Yeah, because like I said, even though I'm tired of those formulas, you make it Star Wars, I'm all in.